Villagers, thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. Africans, we are fighting for unity. We are asking that we all unite because we are one people. This is who we are before Yellow people came in contact with us. Until date, for over centuries, we are still here singing the same song of unity. Kwame Nkrumah took a bold move. Lumumba and the rest rose up to fight for our freedom. Muammar Gaddafi, the recent one, did everything possible in his power to give us freedom. And this was the reason to which they took him out. Even African nations that went to borrow from IMF and World Bank that couldn't pay, he alone paid off these loans to set the African free. This is the extent he went to unite the continent. But these are the same people who rose up against him. DR Congo and Rwanda issue. For decades, we are still not finding solution to these problems. Finally, Donald Trump, the president of the United States of America, is promising them to end this war. But according to Paul Kagame, this is not only economical, but political and security. That these people are looking at three different things. And it's not about you giving me this and taking this so that there will be peace. There is might to it. And these people are doing things based on their interest.
Day, Your Excellency, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to offload. Yes, there was a peace deal that was signed in the US not long ago, Your Excellency, and we are talking about a potential Washington Accord that is upcoming. But I'll take you back to when the peace deal was signed between Rwanda and DRC. Immediately after that peace deal was signed, President Trump of the US said that he had secured a minerals deal for the US. Shortly afterwards, the former DRC President Joseph Kabila on social media dismissed the peace deal aspect and referred to what was signed as a trade agreement. Some people think that the Trump administration does not understand the situation in Eastern DRC very well. What is your comment about that? And what do you say to those who call Trump's approach exploitative in comparison to the Biden administration? That's the question, Your Excellency. My name is Jackie Lumbasi. I host The Real Talk on RTV.
Good. Well, I would start by asking simple questions. Before the deal brokered by United States in the Trump administration, whatever name you may want to give it, what did other administrations, whether in the United States or Europe or anywhere else, did they offer? What is it? I mean, we could be talking about something. Let's talk about it. Before we come to Trump administration and the deal brokered. You are a journalist, you follow different events and the news and so on, you put things in their perspective, in history and so on and so forth. Make a reference, well, even if you don't make it to me now, but in your mind, try to remember what other deals that had been brokered by anybody that were even suitable to deal with the problem in DRC that may be failed because of this or that, and you may put the blame on anybody you wish to. So my question is, where is that? Therefore, if there isn't, Maybe we can even go into more details later. Trump administration came. First of all, I thank them that they even paid attention to the problem at all. They could have ignored that problem like many have, and just focused on what is happening in the Middle East, in Ukraine, Russia, Iran, and those are, in people's minds, more important than having to deal with this African problem. Yeah, it shouldn't matter to anybody, as we have seen it in the past. So, but they took time. Now, I'll try to summarize what my reading of that deal is and how it came about. Once they decided they are going to deal with the matter, there are really three pillars it is built on. One is economic, if you will. The other is security. The other is political. And I think these three are so closely related that you can't just deal with one ignoring the other, because the three are part of the problem. In fact, the main parts of the problem. Now, people tend to concentrate more on economic for a reason. I think some of the players in the region were concerned with the problem. They had in their mind to leverage these resources because they think the resources are very attractive. So therefore they would, like throwing a bait and saying, I'll give you this, I'll give you, so you control this, which everybody is, in the world needs and may. So I'll give it to you. But those who threw the bait to those who would help in the problem were really not looking for a durable solution to their problems or to the problems that affect us in the region. They just wanted to have an advantage over adversaries and give a sweetener to, people to say, we'll give you this, please help us deal with M23 and FCM23 or Rwanda as it is perceived, or our enemies. And that then people would just be attracted to that, take it, and address the problem the way the government of Congo saw it. No, but the Trump administration kept looking at a combination of these three matters that need to be addressed: the political, the security, and the economic. While in some other people's minds, it was just economic. You want a deal, you want money, you want minerals, you want please take it, but and save us from these troublemakers, even if it doesn't address the problem, depending on how they see it. So I'm sure that is what is still affecting and maybe will affect the implementation, because what people had in mind is not necessarily 100% what they are getting. But in addressing any problem like this one, it's give and take. You don't get 100% what you want, because there are many parties concerned with the problem. Together, stability comes out of it. So for me, I think there is a chance that we may get somewhere with that. And why I asked the previous question, the other question about the previous handling, the different administrations handled this matter, it was like actually there was less caring for how to deal with this matter than we have now. Because for them, it would just be, M23, sanctions, Rwanda, and that's it. But how do you handle things like this and expect? I don't think they have even learned from history. In fact, it is the same people also who failed in those years that, and now because we talk to many of them, it's like, yeah, but what do you think about this Trump thing? You know, yeah, you know, we see, but, and it's like they don't even hide the fact that they are disappointed because they are not at the center of it. It's like, what do we have? For us, what do we have in it? And I tell them, but that's none of my business. You were here all these years doing nothing except doing the wrong thing. Because I asked some of them, when you really went all out and were sanctioning Rwanda, sanctioning M23, praising the other side, and then vague about FDLR. And
one thing we are always saying is that Africans, why do we find it so difficult to forgive ourselves and unite and move forward? We are the only ones that channel our energy of dislike towards our brothers. Among the races, we are the only ones that do not like ourselves. We don't love ourselves, and that is why these people can easily use us against the other. They succeeded in creating the narrative that we are all different people because they've grouped us under different colors. And this has sinked into us till date. So when we are doing something to our brother from a different group of colors, we don't believe that that person is one of us. Why do we have to sit down in this 21st century for somebody to move out of wherever, summon us to bring peace? According to him, the peace is only between Rwanda and Congo and not the rebel groups. So if Trump actually wants to end what is happening in Congo, there should be another peace talks between DRC and the rebel groups, which is the M23. So it means that this thing that we have seen was just one portion of it, and the other one is still hanging. We as Africans should be ready to solve our own problems rather than always inviting other people into our matters. These people always sit there and tell us that the black man is not capable of managing his own affairs because of these things. We have the narrative and the notion that before we can do anything, these people must be involved. Without them, we can never solve our issues. And that is why till date, this Congo, Rwanda, and M23 group issue is still hanging. We have a union called African Union, yet this organization can never solve the problems of its own people. Why are we still in this kind of bondage till this time? Why can't we move ahead of ourselves? We are one people. We have to rise up. The youth, as General Assimi Goïta said, we are the only ones that can fight for the better Africa we are looking for. Because these ones have failed us. United we stand, divided we fall, and united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world, in Africa, Central Africa, and in Rwanda.